This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Eight 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Ramesh Piris and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The head of state says that he will not hesitate to take legal action against groups or individuals abusing media freedom. Bangladesh to send COVID-19 pandemic-related medical accessories to Sri Lanka under the SARC COVID-19 Emergency Fund. Sri Lanka to face crucial Geneva vote tomorrow. 3 new presidential commissions to commence operations from April. The police launch month-long operation to net traffic violators. COVID-19 cases recorded in Sri Lanka exceeds 90,000. A red alert for 10 districts over severe lightning. News overseas, Myanmar doctors kick off the day of protest with Dawn March. And those are the headlines, and now we move on to the stories in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa stated that media freedom does not mean freedom of media owners. The head of state says that certain media owners want to run the country the way they want, and he cannot allow that to happen. President Rajapaksa also said that he has not exerted any influence on the media as the president. He remarked that he will not hesitate to take necessary legal actions against such groups and individuals. The president is of the view that today a group of media persons who had worked against the country during the war has reappeared and through their media institutions are attacking nationalist ideology and programs. The president made these remarks participating in the 15th in the series of discussion with the village program held at the Yombuwel Tanna village in Valapane Division, Secretariat Division of the Nuwara district. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina stated that Bangladesh will soon send COVID-19 pandemic-related medical accessories to Sri Lanka under the SARC COVID-19 Emergency Fund. She has given the assurance during the bilateral talks held with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in Dhaka recently. Prime Minister Hasina appreciated the leadership of Premier Rajapaksa in efficiently handling the COVID-19 pandemic. The Bangladeshi Prime Minister stated that she was glad that Mr. Rajapaksa arrived in Dhaka for Independence Day celebrations. Prime Minister Hasina accepted the invitation extended by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa to visit Sri Lanka in 2022 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the formal diplomatic relations between the two countries. Sri Lanka will face a crucial vote on a fresh resolution moved by the UK, Canada and Germany along with other states at the UN Human Rights Council tomorrow. The government has reached out to regional friends India, Pakistan, Nepal and Bangladesh, the countries which yield voting rights at the HRC, to garner support to defeat the resolution, which the government termed as a political move and an interference with the internal affairs of the country. The country is also lobbying friendly nations of the 47 members represented in Geneva at their capitals and in Colombo. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
Operations of 3 new presidential commissions of inquiry are scheduled to commence in April. Accordingly, the PCOI to submit recommendations on streamlining Sri Lanka customs. The PCOI probing alleged human rights violations, serious violations of international humanitarian law and other such offences in Sri Lanka, as well as the PCOI to implement the recommendations of the Presidential Commission which probed alleged incidents of political victimization, are set to kick off the operation next month. Although members were appointed to these commissions, they are yet to commence recording evidences. However, the PCOI to look into alleged human rights violations has started to accept complaints. Accordingly, the general public can direct their complaints to the Commission until the 2nd of April. Over 90,000 persons have tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka. The number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country increased to 90,023 following the detection of 177 infections thus far today. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 recoveries recorded in the country increased to 86,743 after 293 patients were discharged during the past 24 hours. Accordingly, 2,719 persons are currently receiving treatment for coronavirus at several facilities across the country. Today marks the International Forest Day. March 21 is celebrated as the International Day of Forests every year worldwide after the United Nations General Assembly coined it back in 2012 with the aim of raising awareness about the importance of forest reservation. Most countries, including Sri Lanka, celebrate International Forest Day today. Accordingly to the Global Forest Resources Assessment 2020 report, the total forest area of Sri Lanka is nearly 2.1 million hectares. In 1990, Sri Lanka's forest cover was nearly 2.3 million hectares. Meanwhile, the Colombo Municipal Council intends to plant 100,000 plants within the Colombo city limits of under the theme Tree to Colombo, starting with planting 10,000 plants. The CMC has planned to direct people and school children to take care of each plant and to give rewards to the persons who maintain the plants properly after 1 year. And that's local news.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vedha Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
In the aftermath of the Passara Road tragedy that took lives of 14 passengers and wounded several others in the early hours of yesterday, the police have initiated a month-long operation to nab the drivers who violate traffic regulations. The police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana said the operation began since yesterday and strict action would be taken against those who are driving under the influence of alcohol and recklessly, especially during the upcoming festive season.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watch Slide, the Director General of Health Services, Dr. Asela Gunawardana, says the health guidelines to be adhered by people during the upcoming Sinhala Tamil New Year season would be issued in near future. He underlined that people should be mindful of the fact that Sri Lanka is not out of woods as yet in terms of COVID-19 pandemic situation. Therefore, he requested the people to restrict their movement and limit celebrations and adhere to basic health guidelines so that there won't be any risk of emerging a new COVID-19 cluster in future.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines first. Myanmar doctors kick off day of protests with Dawn March. Millions celebrate a Persian New Year around the world. Heavy rains in Australia's east bring worst floods in 50 years. And those are the headlines. Doctors and healthcare workers in Myanmar's Mandalay kicked off another day of anti-coup demonstrations, staging a peaceful march at dawn in a bid to minimize the risk of confrontation with security forces. The rally came as the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, a monitoring group, said at least 247 people have been killed during the nationwide protests against the military's power grab on February 1st. Amid escalating violence, the people of Myanmar, determined to resist a return to military rule, have thought up novel ways to show their opposition. Millions of people around the world have celebrated Nowruz, a festival that marks the Persian New Year and the official beginning of the spring. Nowruz begins at the spring equinox, which the sun crosses the equator and the day and night are equal length. It is mainly celebrated in Iran, Afghanistan, the Kurdish regions of Iraq and Turkey, as well as the Persians in India and the diaspora communities around the rest of the world. This year, which in the Persian calendar is the year 1400, celebrations in many places have had to take place amid coronavirus restrictions. Heavy rains along Australia's east coast over the weekend have brought the worst flooding in half a century in some areas, forcing thousands to evacuate and damaging hundreds of houses. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian said the downpour across the state, Australia's most populous with 8 million people, was worse than initially expected. And that's World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Nivea along with CIB. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment and 20% discount for bank card holders during 16th to 30th March. Our product, our praise. CIB.
To create a transformation in the management of municipal waste by generating electricity and producing liquid fertilizer using biodegradable solid waste, a biogas system was handed over to the ownership of the Kaduela Municipal Council this morning, following the successful pilot phase of the biogas demonstration unit capable of processing 1 ton. This joint initiative of UNDP and KMC aims to increase the productivity of the solid waste management unit in Kaduela to process 10 tons of biodegradable solid waste per day. This waste, which would have ended up in landfills, now generates electricity and is exported to the grid and produces liquid organic fertilizer, resulting in a reduction of the greenhouse gas emissions by 1,000 to 1,300 tons per annum. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by Nivea along with CIB. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment and 20% discount for bank card holders during 16th to 30th March. Our product, our praise. CIB.
In sports, cricket, the final match in the Road Safety World Cricket Series, Sri Lanka Legends versus Indian Legends got underway in Raipur in India a short while ago. Sri Lanka won the toss and elected to field first. Earlier, Sri Lanka defeated South Africa Legends by 8 wickets to enter the semi-final, while India Legends beat West Indies Legends by 12 runs after a high-scoring semi-final game. Short while ago, Indian Legends were 127 for the loss of 3 wickets after 15 overs, with Yuvraj Singh on 51 and Yusuf Pathan on 37 runs at the crease.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Ringing in the new era of 5G to Sri Lanka, Hutch recently demonstrated the fastest 5G speed ever achieved by a Sri Lankan telecom operator in its inaugural 5G trial event at Hutch One Golf Face Premier Experience Centre. Hutch teamed up with ZTE, a global leader in telecommunications and information technology, for this groundbreaking 5G trial, which included several demonstrations and use cases of 5G.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of
Business deals now easy. It just takes a few taps only. Anytime, get it done, all connected. Best discounts with real time. LOLC Real Time. Now download LOLC Finance Real Time app for your LOLC savings account. Attractive interest rates, transactions anytime, anywhere with a zero cost and more benefits.
Sri Lanka and Bangladesh have signed 6 memoranda of understanding after Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Sri Lankan counterpart Mahinda Rajapaksa had one-on-one talks in Dhaka earlier this week. The two countries proposed that cooperation in the tourism sector would help both nations and that more direct flights should be initiated in order to facilitate these links.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down. Everything is sorted. Why? I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers or thunder showers at several places in Sabaragamuwa, western, central and northwestern provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts during the evening or night. The Met Department predicts fairly heavy falls, about 50 millimeters at some places in the Sabaragamuwa and western provinces and in Galle, Mathura and Nuwara districts. Several special showers may occur in Uva province and in Hambantota, Batticaloa and Hampara districts. Moreover, the Met Department has issued a red alert on thunder showers accompanied by severe lightning for 10 districts today. Accordingly, districts including Kurunegala, Kandy, Gampaha, Kegalle, Nuwara, Colombo, Kalutara, Ratnapura, Galle and Mathura have been alerted over the weather conditions.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Before we wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The head of state says that he will not hesitate to take legal action against groups or individuals abusing media freedom. Bangladesh to send COVID-19 pandemic-related medical accessories to Sri Lanka under the SAARC COVID-19 Emergency Fund. Sri Lanka to face crucial Geneva vote tomorrow. 3 new presidential commissions to commence operations from April. The police launch a month-long operation to net traffic violators. COVID-19 cases recorded in Sri Lanka exceed 90,000. A red alert for 10 districts over severe lightning. With that, we conclude this night broadcast or news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's back to Mario Vijayawardena to keep you company with the rest of the programs this Sunday evening. Over to you, Mario.